These days, getting food is almost too easy. You open an app, scroll for a few seconds, tap once, and within minutes, your dinner just shows up at your doorstep. It's hot, it's fast, and you don't have to lift a finger. But here's the thing, when something becomes that convenient, you stop putting effort into it. You stop thinking about what goes into it. You are not experimenting or creating, you're just consuming. And honestly, that convenience makes you a little lazy. Lately, I've realized the same thing has been happening with my camera work, because I've been using a lens that is so versatile, so reliable, that it's starting to make me just a bit too comfortable. So I've been using the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 DGDN Mark II for a while now. I know it's a mouthful. And here's my hot take. It's making me lazy. Not because it's bad. Actually, it's the opposite. The lens is so good that I've caught myself relying on it a bit too much. And as a videographer, that convenience has changed how I shoot, and not always in a good way. Let's get it straight. This lens is incredible. I'm using it right now. 24mm all the way up to 70mm with a constant f2.8 aperture, and it's lighter and sharper than the Mark I. It covers establishing shots, mediums, and even close-ups. Basically, the entire range that you might need for, say, like an event, corporate gig, or even a narrative-based shoot. And when you pair it with in-body stabilization like on the FX3, handheld footage looks super steady. Autofocus is snappy, colors are nice, and it really feels like you've got an entire lens set in just one body. Alright, so let's quickly take a look at the image performance of this lens. Now, this being a zoom lens, it won't be as sharp as, say, something like a prime lens would be, but as far as the sharpness goes, I'm really happy, and you cannot really make out the difference in between this and a prime lens because this is pretty sharp. Now, I've pulled up this recent project that I worked on, and as you can see, most of these shots are obviously shot in vertical because the client demanded it to, but we can still get an idea of the performance of the lens. Now, all of these were shot in 4K 120 FPS because these were going to get slowed down in post. This lens is pretty sharp. Now, keep in mind, this particular shot was not shot wide open at f2.8. This is probably f4 or 5, but considering that as well, you can see the details in the wood on top of this barrel, and it is pretty sharp. Now, here's another shot of the cork. You can see the details in the cork as well, and if you look closely as well, you won't be able to see a lot of chromatic aberration because that is pretty much non-existent with this lens. There is a tiny bit of chromatic aberration when you shoot wide open, but I have not personally felt the need of fixing that in post. There's another shot of this bottle right in front of these flowers and leaves. As you can see that on the edges, it is pretty good, and this is pretty acceptable when it comes to a zoom lens. This particular shot was shot wide open using an ND filter, so you can be the judge of the sharpness of this lens when it is wide open. Now, moving to low light conditions, obviously this lens performs good because it has an aperture of f2.8, which is the widest that it can go, and it also depends on the camera that you use. This was shot on the Sony FX3, which is obviously the king when it comes to low light. But yeah, you can see the details in the bubbles. You can probably count the bubbles here individually. When it comes to bokeh, the bokeh is also pretty smooth and it is very clinical. Most of the Sigma lenses are very, very sharp and they don't have a lot of character to them. So sometimes I do end up adding a bit of texture and character to the footage that I have shot. Here's another shot where the light is directly hitting the lens, and as you can see that there is pretty much no flaring, which is pretty good because it comes in pretty handy when I'm shooting outdoors and there's sun. Here's the problem though. Filmmaking is about choices. Focal length is storytelling. A 24mm close-up gives a sense of energy, presence, maybe even tension. A 70mm shot from a distance isolates your subject and makes things intimate or compressed. And with a zoom like this, it's easy to skip that decision-making process and just twist the ring to get the perfect shot. The danger is you are reframing instead of rethinking. You're not moving the camera, you're not adjusting blocking, you're not designing shots. You are just standing still and zooming in. And that is where I feel the laziness comes in, especially with me. When I'm shooting with primes, I have to commit to a particular focal length. If I put up a 35mm on my camera, I'm forced to move forward or backward in order to get a particular shot, which helps me in changing the energy and perspective of the shot. The camera movement becomes a part of the storytelling. With a zoom like this, it's tempting to plant your tripod or stay in one handheld spot and let the lens do all the work. The second version almost feels more cinematic because it has intention baked in. The choice to move closer, the choice to stay wide or just embrace distortions. That's what zoom lenses can rob you of if you're not being careful. That said though, zooms have their place. If I'm doing an event or anything that is run and gun, the Sigma 24-70 is just unbeatable. I don't have time to set up shots or to change lenses in between an event. Clients want the moments captured, and this lens allows me to do that without any restrictions. Even on narrative shoots, it's a lifesaver for quick coverage. Grabbing cutaways, run and gun shots, or even grabbing some quick B-roll. It's not about never using it, it's more about when to lean on it and when to push yourself with using prime lenses. So what I've done is that I've started using this zoom lens as a set of prime lenses. I will lock it at 35 for a scene or force myself to stay at 50 for an entire sequence. This way I still get the discipline of a prime lens, but a flexibility or a peace of mind if I really need to break it. It's a mental hack to stay more intentional when I'm shooting while still enjoying the convenience of the zoom. So yeah, the Sigma 24-70 Mark II is both a blessing and a curse. It's sharp, it's versatile, it's reliable, but it's so convenient that it can sneak you into lazy habits. My advice, use it, love it, but don't forget to move your feet. Think about the perspective and stay intentional. What about you guys? Do you feel the same way about zooms, or are you guys just team primes? I would love to know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.